Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Burton's Grill and Bar, now with South Florida locations in Plantation and Boca.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. A little bit of an overcast, gloomy day, but it's not raining too bad, and a couple of raindrops certainly won't keep me from going out and having some lunch and having some delicious food and great cocktails, and we are in store for that and more today. Very special edition, Burtons Grill and Bar, Boca Raton. This location, 5580 North Military Trail. And we are joined today. It gives me great pleasure to be joined by the CEO and president of the growing brand, the Burtons brand, John Haggai. I hope I had that right. And John, welcome to the Lunchbox. It is really a treat to be able to get in here because we were at the Burtons Plantation location last fall. Had a great time meeting Christina, the general manager there, and that place has been open just a little over a year, so celebrated the 1 year anniversary. This one, Boca, has been here
10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been a full decade.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And again, it's kind of one of these brands that's growing, was under the radar, but is becoming more and more of a known quantity. And it's not just a cult classic anymore, but those of us on the Let's Eat South Florida group, they learned about the great key lime pie here, and recently
we're gonna have some today.
Excellent, and then the paella special, which is no longer running, but it might be back soon. But welcome to the show.
No,
how are you?
This is great. A little gloomy day. Every time I go to Florida, I get excited about coming down here. And
the Sunshine State, right?
There's no sun today. None. It's raining all week.
It's officially the rainy season.
Yeah, it's officially the rainy season. But even usually just rains for an hour and then the sun pops back up.
Yeah,
it's like all day.
It used to be like that. We do get it when the rainy season begins, usually in the middle of May. But then we get a stretch where it's like a little bit overcast. You feel like you might be in Seattle, but it's okay. It's still nice. Look at what we got in front of us. We got some delicious
food. This is a great stop. This is a fantastic restaurant. It's one of my favorites. Our company's 20 years old.
Right.
We celebrate our 20th anniversary in March. And so we've been around for a long time, but down here established in South Florida for a while now, almost a decade. And, Andy and the team here in Boca have done just a phenomenal job and built just a great business, a really great business.
And let me tell you something, because I've been in this market in South Florida resident for 36 of my 59 years. Boca is not the easiest location. Some people are a little bit hard to please.
It's a little tough. It's a little tough sometimes, but we've been successful here. And Andy's a good GM. He's great, so he knows how to handle it. But if you win your customers over, and they might be tough, but they'll be lifers once you win them over.
The fact that
you're loyal, very loyal.
The fact that you've managed not just to survive but to thrive in the Boca Raton market is a testament to the quality and hospitality
which used to
here.
be seasonal, by the way. Now it's not even seasonal. We stay busy through this. We're in June, and we're
going to talk about that because you also, now that you're in Plantation, talk about differences in different cities and different regions. But before we get to that, I just want to show everybody, we're going to be spotlighting some of the great happy hour beverages, cocktails. But I just want to show everybody here on the Lunchbox, especially you, Danny Surfer, Chef Danny. Thank you again. Yesterday, Blue Collar in Miami. We had a fantastic time. But notice I am having a Bloody Mary for lunchtime on a weekday, because Burton's is the house of yes. And if you ask for something...
They really are.
They really are. They're still in the hospitality business. They take care of their guests. They accommodate special requests. I see tables that can seat up to, 6 people, and you can come in with big groups?
Big groups, small groups.
Small groups.
We'll take everybody.
Not that I'm denigrating any other place. Okay, yeah, I am. People who watch the show. But we're not in that business of... we're just talking about how wonderful it is here. If you have allergies, if you are gluten intolerant, they have menu items, totally gluten-free menu. items that can be made to any specification.
Yeah,
correct?
everything here, right? You're looking at is actually gluten free. That's why he's lotus root. No one knows what lotus root. You know what lotus root is?
I know White Lotus on
Yeah.
HBO, but Lotus root. No, tell
Yeah,
us.
it's a root vegetable, so it's fried. We fried them at crispy because of a version of a crouton, so you can
Right.
kind of get that crunch. You need the crunch. Gluten has the crunch,
Listen,
so
he's a man after my own heart.
you want the crunch. You need a crunchy in something, right? You have to have a crunch in a salad.
You hear that, Danny
You guys
Surfer?
are,
Sometimes you can get it from a water chestnut
brothers.
or a lotus, a dried lotus. I'm ragging on the
this is
chef
the
friend
top-
of mine we
oh,
had
okay.
yesterday. He doesn't like water chestnuts or bean sprouts
Oh, really?
in his Chinese food because he says it adds no flavor. It has completely tasteless. And I said, but it adds
The
crunch.
the
And
crunch.
crunch is key.
Crunch is key.
And so we got the lotus.
How beautiful is this salad, though?
So
Look
this
at
is a new item, a
Yeah.
Thai steak
Thai
salad.
steak salad, marinated steak
smells
with mandarins,
great.
lotus root. It's refreshing. It's got some zing to it with the soy ginger dressing. Everything's made from scratch. By the way, we make all of our dressings in house.
Nice.
Everything's cut fresh and beautiful. So this is just kind of our take on a nice summer healthy salad. And we get a lot of our ideas from the field. So the chef in Alexandria, Virginia, came up with this recipe,
Okay.
and
He came up
yeah,
with it. It was a hit.
her name is
her.
Isabel.
She-
She's
yeah.
fantastic. And, Denise Herrera, who's our founding chef, has a team of great executive chef. Phil here, you just saw, he popped in to say hi to you.
And he was the
And,
creator of the great paella. That was
the
a big
great
hit.
paella. Yeah.
And,
He just entered the wing contest a couple weeks ago.
and he won.
We came in second. I
Came
think
in
we
second?
came in second.
Well, that's pretty
with
strong
our,
showing.
with our Memphis dry rub. So the wings are great. But yeah, the salad is like just
And
fresh.
it has
delicious, good.
mandarin oranges, but one of the things is, again, my girlfriend is allergic to oranges and carrots. It's kind of
Carrots?
an odd allergy that
Yeah.
was a post-pregnancy allergy. But my girlfriend, so when we came to the one in Plantation, and we were able to get everything modified, I think the one of the crispy cauliflower had a glaze that usually has some orange in it, but they were able to make it a special way. Same thing with this. You just omit the mandarin oranges. So they are in the yes business, and they will take care of your allergies
the
and everything.
dietary restriction and allergy thing has been baked in our DNA since the beginning. Our founder, Kevin Herron, had celiac disease.
That
and
explains
it.
it.
Was kind of important, and then really Denise, our founding chef, kind of took off about 2 or 3 years into our inception and really started to really focus on it. It's not an easy task, believe me. I mean, everything on our menu, 99% of our menu is already gluten free.
Mhm.
Crazy enough. The only thing that's not gluten free on our menu right now is the croutons
Mhm.
on the salad, the bread for the burger, the burger bun bread. Even our cheesesteak spring rolls now, or the wrap.
You're
is
able to
now
get them
gluten-free.
gluten free, and
It's
then
crazy. And 10 years ago, it wasn't that good. The flour, it's crispier now. Like we're gonna have these beautiful little General Tso's, happy hour bar bites. Look at this.
okay,
See
that
how
looks
is.
good. It looks
but-
coated with the sesame seeds, black and white.
Yeah, you got a little
bit of
General Tso,
scallions.
just General Tso.
I'm gonna dive right
you
in.
put that General Tso sauce anything, and it becomes this addictive. It's like, oh god,
That's really good.
But we do the cauliflower also. So we do General Tso's cauliflower, and then for happy hour, in South Florida, people like to have their happy hour, come out and have a couple drinks, but also have a couple bar bites or nibble a little bit. How good is that?
And that's
Pretty
got
good,
a
right?
little kick to it
Yeah.
too, as Lubie would
So
say.
General so
Wasn't
so,
expecting, but
Yeah.
it's good, and I love a little bit of the spice heat on the back end.
Mhm.
And I can't believe that is gluten free, because that coating, that batter, it
Crispy.
seems like it's very crispy.
Yeah.
And the steak on the Thai steak,
Yeah.
what great flavor on that. Also,
Marinated.
and that's strips of what? It's
Yeah. It's
just-
a brioche filet, but it's all strips of the steak. We marinated for overnight,
right.
and grill it. And
Very tender.
yeah.
Beautiful. And that lotus root, not only
Mhm.
does it give it crunch, Dan Surfer, it also has a little flavor. It has a little
Crunch-
bit of a
crunch. You can hear the
that's
crunch.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has a nice crunch.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, he's a natural, because
He
I always
is.
love to
Yeah.
do the crunch right into the mic and give people the full effect. All right, John, let's talk a little bit about you mentioned about the story, the origin story 20 years ago. How and why did this brand come about and start growing?
20 years ago, a group of 3 founders, restaurant guys, just wanted to create a concept, that their friends and family would like to hang out in. Honestly, it was that simple, kind of a neighborhood hang spot.
And it was where? In
this was in Boston.
Boston, Mass.
This is in the South Shore of Boston area called Hingham.
I know Hingham.
Yeah, and it's still that's still our busiest restaurant, by the way.
Really?
They just celebrated it's
Wow,
not
that's
even
amazing.
that big. It's smaller than this one.
or as non-New Englanders would call it, Hingham.
Hingham,
No,
yeah.
Hingham.
And
It's near the Cape, and
yeah.
it's near Boston.
on the way to the Cape. Yeah, on the way to the Cape, and then they started off, and a restaurant that they wanted to be proud of, that had good quality. They're all kind of ex-restaurant, restaurant guys, and they built a few restaurants in Massachusetts, and then things started really gelling.
Yeah, I imagine so. So they grew slowly, but now here you are.
We're going to open our 23rd location in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And that is going to be in the city of brotherly love.
Yeah, right on the main line. If you know Pennsylvania, you know the main line. So right on the main line in an area called Wayne, PA, which is like 20 minutes, from the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of we love that neighborhood. It's
an awesome
it's
good. It's got the right vibe. Right.
I've learned to love Philly. I'm from Dallas, by the way. So it's
Well, we were talking off air before.
Oh, geez.
You went to high school in Sarasota,
Yeah.
so you do have some Florida ties,
Mhm.
and that area has grown. But Dallas but Philadelphia bringing the 23rd location there. Will you have a cheesesteak on the menu?
What do you do with
It's
that?
crazy about this because you have to. We have our cheesesteak spring rolls, which are phenomenal.
Right.
But I've tasked the team. I'm like, you got to have some kind of cheesesteak, gourmet cheesesteak. I've been eating so much cheesesteak the last 3 or 4 months, trying to find like the best. And there's so many good ones. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Now you know what I say, because I'm the elitist critic, is that the cheesesteak
That's what you should do.
is only the second best
Yeah.
sandwich out of Philadelphia. The true sandwich that should be nationally embraced and loved is the roast pork with provolone and broccoli rabe. I love that. It was at a place called Tony Luke's. It's at a place called John's, whatever. But you're going to do regional touches, and you allow your chefs to.
Each Burtons has an executive chef, and they have some autonomy on the menu to create some specials. They all have to go through a process, and with Denise, she's tough. You can get past her, then you can get past anybody. So, but yeah, you give them a little bit of autonomy and give them some creativity, which is nice. So Philadelphia, you got to do that. Up in, I live in Richmond. I'm in the DC kind of area in Richmond, and we do sheet crab soup up there.
Okay.
And which is, you can't really sell it outside of that area. People know what it is, sort of like lobster bisque. We use it with a crab roe.
Ooh.
But oh God, now I want some.
we're gonna
No,
That
yeah,
sounds
that's
amazing.
all right. Well, I know you do have
You sure
crab
you don't wanna
cakes
try
on the
here?
menu. I think you have some crab cake like sliders on the happy hour
we do
menu.
crab cake
Oh my
sliders
God.
now.
We're going to
Crab
be
cakes.
having feasting on a lobster roll, Connecticut style. I like that you
That's
offer
my
it
favorite
both
style,
ways.
by the way. Up in New England, it's crazy. It's like a
Cold.
war up there.
Oh
between the
yeah,
cold
it's
and
like Yankees Red Sox.
it's like
Hot or
Yankees,
cold lobster rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'll taste some good lobster. It's tough to get this time of year because it's not in season yet. So if you're getting lobster roll in January, February, be careful because it might not be fresh.
Right.
We use fresh tail knuckle claw. So when it's not available, it's just not available.
Right. I know the prices really skyrocketed during the winter months. Now they're coming back to some manageable levels, so you could price it affordably, which I know is
People
also a
pay up for it,
consideration.
The good lobster roll, people are going to pay some money for.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, so we didn't even we had the Thai steak salad.
You got the
delicious.
wings.
We've got the General's House chicken skewers, which is on the happy hour menu.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we've got wings, which is America's favorite bar food.
It is. And you wouldn't think it would fit our they just do. The wings are great. We brine these though. We brine these overnight. They're brined for 12 to 24 hours. We do it both ways. You can do a maple sriracha or you can do a Memphis dry rub.
Now, I again really appreciate the two styles because I am a dry rub freak. First time I ever went to Memphis, I went to the Rendezvous Rib. I know it's a tourist. I'm not going to say trap.
They're
It was
known
good,
for it. I mean,
but I love dry rub ribs now, and I like to sauce things myself. And this dry rubbed wing looks like it's shouting my name.
I do the dry rub and then I dip it in the siracha on the side.
Interesting.
Which I should have told him to do that because that's
all right.
That's your hack.
But
That's cool.
they're big. Look how big these things are.
Yeah, these are.
I mean, these are
they're
not
nice
like
size.
you go to some places and it's tiny.
Lubie, can I give you one of these? I'm gonna
just sriracha ones.
Yeah,
sure.
give you a sriracha. We got Lubie on the mixing board today, of course.
Hello.
And let's get into your personal background. That's great. I love this dry rub, and I will dip it in. What is this? A ranch or a blue cheese? It's a blue cheese dressing. Yeah, I don't want a double dip.
You got to do.
Hold on.
Too many decisions with wings. Is it ranch? Is it blue cheese? And then you got 45 different sauces. The wings are. We just keep it simple here.
My decision is am I going to get 12? Am I going to get 20? Or you sell them? I guess
they're 8. They come
8 of them in
they
the.
come 8.
Right.
But it's over a pound. These things are huge. You know,
They are very plump.
and they're very, very popular. It's
Let me
like
get
we-
one more bite.
Yeah.
But let me ask,
All right.
you've been with Burtons now, you're saying 5 years.
5 years. I started during
as-
the pandemic.
Oh, wow. That's a great time
Yeah.
to come on board for a restaurant brand. What was that like? And what's your background in terms of hospitality business?
Yeah,
or
it's
what
all
were
I've
you doing
ever
before?
done. It's all I've ever done. I'm a career restaurant journeyman. Do you know Outback Steakhouse? You ever heard of Outback Steakhouse?
Yeah, I heard of those guys. Bloomin' Brands.
So Bloomin' Brands.
Out of Tampa,
I
right?
started I was in Sarasota at high school, so that was right when the company started, and I started at their third location in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I stayed there for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I was one of those guys who just worked your way up. I started as a dishwasher.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. I worked every station.
Oh, wow.
Year after year after year, got promoted, and ended up, 20 years later running a decent sized chunk of the company actually.
Wow.
And I had the entire Virginia market. I had 22 restaurants in the Virginia market, and so that was I got my PhD, in hospitality. But it was a very exciting time. If you think back then, it was a very exciting time, and I rode shotgun in one of the most amazing restaurant success stories in our time.
That's great.
It was growing rapidly.
Those guys, one of the founders, didn't they start the Bole
His son,
concept too?
Chris Gannon. I know Chris really well. He does really well.
They
down
live
here.
down here, right?
Yeah, he lives in West Palm.
Yeah, okay. Because when they first started the
Yeah.
Bole
I like
concept,
Bole.
His dad is
Believe that.
his dad is Tim Gannon,
Right.
who's the food chef and food founder, for
For Outback, right.
Yeah. So he started Bole. Thank God, there's a lot of Boles now down
there
here.
are.
They're down
They're
here.
all over.
Good.
Because that bowl concept is really
Yeah.
taking off,
Healthy,
especially
fresh,
with
it
the
looks
younger
healthy.
kids.
Yeah.
I've got a 20-year-old daughter, and like she could just strap out like a thing around her neck and just like eat
Yeah.
out of bowls all
Yeah.
day between Chipotle and now Cava and Bole. But every once in a while, she'll use a knife and fork and come
Does
in
she go
and
to
sit
full
down.
service restaurants? Does she only do like? I feel
She-
now that generation just kind of eats like at Chipotle's and Sweet Greens,
I
and they
tell
just,
you what,
do
because
they go to restaurants?
She is
she
his
does
daughter.
go, because I was a restaurant critic for some of her formative years. Even though she would fidget a lot,
Mhm.
she has learned to really appreciate a fine dining experience and going out and
Yep.
sitting down at a restaurant. She actually just got a job for the rest of the summer at a proper sit down restaurant.
Yep.
So I'm trying. I think you're right, though. We've got to kind of cultivate the next generation, that there is something very soothing, therapeutic, and restorative about sitting down to a meal without a phone or a gadget.
Especially with your family. Think about that. People now, families they're so busy.
Yep.
If you're going to Chipotle, you don't see, when's the last time you saw a family dinner at
No.
one of those places?
Right.
So people use Burtons. In our other concept, Red Heat American Tavern, by the way, we have another
Okay.
concept up
Okay.
in Boston, but people use Burtons as kind of that family spot too.
Yep.
We're kid friendly. We have a be choosy menu, kid
Yeah.
menu. It's great.
And again, they call it like as casual yet
Yep.
sophisticated contemporary American cuisine.
It's definitely upscale, but it's got a casual vibe to it. You can come at Burton's kind of dressed in flip flops off the golf
You can.
course. or
So
you could
there's
be in
not a full
sport coat.
list on your
Yeah.
website about things you can't do here.
It's you have
Lubie
it's
knows.
enough time has passed, God rest his soul, but it's like a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Right.
I swear our customer is
Interesting.
everybody. It's all ages,
And I
all
love
races,
that.
it's everybody.
The
And they all
last
get
time,
along.
the last time I was in this particular location in Boca, again, it's at 5580 North Military Trail. It was with my college buddy who was visiting, a friend of his who lives in Boca Raton, and his friend's son who was 7 years old. And the kid couldn't have been happier.
Yep.
I mean, they got him a burger and everybody was happy. And then I looked around and I saw people who were in their 70s and 80s. So I love
Yep.
seeing a multi-generational restaurant where everybody is comfortable. There's something on the menu for everybody.
Yep.
So
There's
job well
definitely
done.
something for everybody. It's like casual yet refined, upscale, come as you are. But it's all
Yeah.
about the food. Come
Yeah.
in for great food.
Well,
great
it doesn't
hospitality.
surprise me to hear that you have a background from Outback,
Mhm.
because I think their motto is no rules, just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that
As
was
opposed to some restaurants now where it's all rules and
I
you're
gotta
never
give the
right.
backstory on this.
He has
this
a
is
thing
still
with
I have,
lingering.
I'm on a
This is
vendetta.
lingering. This is
No,
Well,
it's-
because the funny thing is, he actually, people give him a guff because he'll side with restaurants a lot, right? Because he's worked with the restaurants. He was a critic, but he was an honest critic.
and a fair critic.
And what
fair
we
critic.
do here is talk about restaurants, but we're honest.
Yeah.
But we are around restaurateurs a lot, and you get to hear the reality, not the person on their phone,
Mhm.
Well, you
putting
get
messages.
different perspectives,
Yeah.
and I understand different philosophies of, some restaurants want to curate their guests and their guest experience,
Yep.
but to me, if you lose the essence of the hospitality business should be hospitality,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then make your
100%.
guests happy. So, and that's what you do here. And I've had
you
that
have
experience.
to hire for that. The question you asked me is during the pandemic. Remember, I
Yeah.
started during the pandemic, and we're in the hospitality business, high touch, smiles.
Right.
You're wearing a mask.
Right.
Can't even see.
I spent the first year of the job. I couldn't see anybody's face.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
And I'm a pretty like outgoing person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need that. I need to feed off that kind of energy. And you're meeting people, and then they take the mask off, and a year. It's like, wow, okay. It was crazy to go through that time. It was very difficult. It was a terrible time for our industry.
It was
devastating.
hard, challenging.
so
It was frightening. A lot of people thought, predicted like an apocalypse. Down here, especially though, because thanks to having outdoor dining where it was safer,
And the weather
and a
year
bit
round.
weather
and
and
year-round.
looser, restrictions, that restaurants didn't just survive down here; they also thrived
They
because
thrived.
so many people came, and other restaurant groups came from the Northeast and the Midwest, and then it actually drove up rents. It was kind of
God, I know.
unbelievable what happened,
Yeah.
but here we are. On the other side of the pandemic, people are out again. We're not masked up, and I think that when you come to a place like this, people can really get a full, very nice, and like you said, family-friendly experience. Yeah.
We built a reputation. It did not happen overnight, of trust, consistency, and reliability. So when you come to our restaurant, you know what you're going to get. Especially if you have a dietary restriction or allergy, we can't screw that up. That's a big time responsibility.
It's literally life or death.
we
Sometimes,
have
yeah.
protocols in place. It's crazy intense on what people go through to be certified to run your food out, even as a manager to the table for someone with an allergy. But we built a reputation over time. So and now when you kind of ride through the ebb and flows of the economy and the ups and downs, we're perfectly positioned. We've kind of carved out this space, with a price to experience, model that works really, really well, and it's not fine dining. It's not casual dining. We kind of live in the middle.
But the food is fine.
Food's
I mean, it's
phenomenal.
high quality
I'll
stuff.
put our food up against anybody's.
When he said, and to me, I find it interesting when you say the dressing is made in house. If you're making the dressings in house, that tells you the word scratch is something you guys believe in.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my family's not the easiest to please. Between my sister has kids and my parents are in their 60s. And I remember we did the show on Plantation. I remember raving about it, like to anyone I would talk to. And I guess they hadn't got a chance. And it was like a month or so ago. They're like, "Hey, Michael, have you heard of this Burtons?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom. I told you about it like months ago." They're like, "Yeah, we went your sister with the kids." And it was like the first time we didn't have a complaint from anyone, which never happens with my family. And they all get different dishes. They all get different kinds of things. There are people that like to change things. And they were surprised. They're ready for people to make a face. No one made any faces. And then on top of that, the quality of the food. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. It's Mayo and I were perplexed because we go to restaurants of all levels and we have really good food. But we heard the word chain. People use the word chain, and we're like, that doesn't feel like a chain. Like the food was fresh, it was different, and the fact that you can change any dish to make it your dietary restriction was mind-boggling.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't make everything from scratch either. You
Right.
can't. And you like it also the ingredient levels. We're also peanut free. We don't even have peanuts in it.
Right. Right.
But our customers put a premium, on quality over price. So, we're not the most expensive. We're not the cheapest either. But you're going to pay for good food, and they don't mind doing that.
And the fact that you're able
and also
to,
the portions,
portions
everyone
are
leaves with a
ridiculous.
bag. You don't
Portions
finish the food.
are generous, and the fact that you're able to execute so many different, themes and styles, whether it's an Asian influenced dish or then you got the chicken milnaise, which is going to come out next. But it's all good and it's all satisfying, and that's why I am a big fan of the whole Burtons brand, and that's why we're here talking to you today, John Haggai, who is the CEO and president. We're going to take our first break. Let's go. We're going to come back. We're going to have some more food, some more chat. Next session, I want to get into just the differences, not just between regions, but even Boca and Plantation. You would tell me there's different things that are popular and different styles. We'll get into all that and more when we come back from Burton's Grill and Bar in Boca after these words. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen. Delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food and a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. All right, we're back at Burtons Grill and Bar in Boca Raton, one of 2 South Florida locations of the Burtons brand. The other one is in Plantation on University Drive. It opened about a year ago. We're with John Haggai, the CEO and president of Burtons for the past 5 years and in growth mode. Talk about the 2 different locations and what have you learned about the differences in terms of, I mean, is there more seasonality here in Boca with more snowbirds? And in terms of what people order and all that, what have you learned?
You have a lot of northern roots down here. People that come down here from New England. They retire down here. They have homes down here from New York, Jersey.
I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I'm a Brooklyn boy.
You know, Massachusetts. There's a strong connection between
Yep.
New England and down here, and that's why we run the clam chowder, lobster roll. They all sell so well.
Mm-hmm.
But Boca, for the longest time, especially this area, was definitely a seasonal, spot, and Plantation is definitely, more year round. It's a little, we don't have the seasonality that Boca has, although Boca is extended in the summer, but it used to be ghost town here, during 2-3 months during the summer.
Yes,
Starting
everybody
June,
would clear
July,
out.
August, everybody's gone. Plantation is more of a bedroom community.
Exactly.
It's more families, more dual incomes, younger. You know, around here it's more
geared toward
retirees.
the school year, I imagine, where you might see a drop off in the
Yeah.
summer because the kids go to camp and maybe people do take vacations or
Yeah,
whatever.
they're busy families, you know. So
Yeah.
you got to, you know, and then you have a lot more of events down there. You got the
Mm.
boat show, or you got things going on down there. You got sports. So there's definitely, I think, more things that affect the plantation.
Yeah.
Location. It's really close to Fort Lauderdale. It's crazy how close it is. You
I
don't
know
think
it's only 10 minutes from my house,
15
but
15 minutes away.
for some reason,
But-
I live on the east side of Fort Lauderdale, and people on the east side of Fort Lauderdale can be very, I don't want to say snooty and elitist, but they can be very snooty and elitist because they think that like they will shrivel up and die if they go west of 95 or 441. And I'm here to tell you, folks, there's some really nice stuff out there, and Burtons is among the very nice things. And I don't like using the C word with them, Chain,
I know.
because there is so much quality. And do you feel like, look, the C word in your case stands for consistency.
Yep.
And I think that's a
you know,
big
and
allure.
look at every successful restaurant or even brand. You start off as one, right? There was only one Starbucks, only one Nordstrom. There's only one Circle K. You know, there'd be things multiply and things change. So, I think a lot of people have aspirations to grow. You know, and we have a lot of respect for owner operators and local restaurants. We live right with them, and we compete against them, and we're friends with them. But you know, it's crazy the chain thing. People, I don't want to go to a chain, and it's just, to me, it's always been like, okay, well, what are you looking for? You know, here's what we can provide you:
quality, value.
You know, we're able to protocol, safety, sanitation. You know, the amount of capital we'll spend on a restaurant to make sure it's safe.
Proper training
train
staff
people, which is
properly.
huge.
All these things. Oh,
So-
but in terms of what people order, you said there were differences
Yeah,
between,
it's-
like,
yeah,
what's the big
it's-
seller down there? As
We sell
opposed
more
to
steaks. We sell more steaks in Plantation.
Really?
And more burgers here.
I would never. I'm not gonna lie. I would never have thought that.
Yeah.
Because steakhouses and Italian is like a big thing in
Yeah.
the Boca area. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That
look
plantation
at
where I
that.
consider more family based.
Yeah.
You're getting steaks and you're
All
getting.
right, we're getting
things of
hit
that
with
nature.
Some chicken Milanese right now,
Wave two
Alfredo. This is
chicken
like our take
Milanese.
on Milanese is anything crispy with the the arugula and the Parmesan cheese on it. So we'll do the chicken Milanese. You know, we have veal
and this is
Milanese, we have-
also a gluten-free recipe.
this is a
or-
gluten-free. Yeah,
Wow.
this is all
okay.
gluten-free.
So you got the
you know?
crispy goodness.
And we do
You've
the
got some fusilli or
yeah,
rotini
fusilli,
pasta.
with the
peas,
peas
fresh
and the
peas,
and the
yeah,
Alfredo. So
Yeah.
it's just our take on something that's, once again, people like a crispy chicken. I mean, who doesn't,
They do,
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you like a crispy piece of chicken. You
And-
get the zest from the lemon.
And I love
You
have
get
a
the
little bit of
arugula.
arugula,
Yeah.
which has, again, a certain amount of pepperiness. So I love
Just
when
don't flavor
things
it.
are adorned with the arugula,
Mhm.
as Dame Edna used to say. And
And then now with the pasta, like there's like beautiful pastas that are gluten free that you would never even know. You know?
well, this is not gluten-free pasta, is
Yeah.
it?
It is. Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
should have told me that
It's
before I
cra-
ate it.
It's interesting to see how
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
never have
talking
known the
about it,
difference.
how gluten free has grown, because you would hear the word before, and especially if it was a like a grain item, it was like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's really grown where you wouldn't even know.
I'm gonna move that to the side for you.
I mean,
there,
look at
Lubie.
this thing. Come on.
There's a lobster roll,
That's a nice
Connecticut style,
Wow.
warm.
So what
bathed in
side are
some-
you? Are you a Connecticut or are you a?
Depends on the day of the week. So I was born in Brooklyn, so naturally I do like the Connecticut style hot lobster
Yeah.
roll. But then I went to school up in Boston area.
Yeah, they do Maine up there. Yeah, it's cold. Predominantly, it's crazy in Boston. We sell the cold 2-to-1
Mm-hmm.
in
Oh, yeah.
Boston. Everywhere
Wow.
else,
There it is.
we sell the
More of the warm.
more of the warm.
Somebody on the Let's
know.
Eat group was asking about the warm lobster roll the other day. I didn't realize that you had it here at Burton's,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to have to go into that post and say Burton's is now your place. Now this is on. You have an all-day menu here. There's no lunch and
There's
dinner.
no
It's
lunch
just
and
all
dinner.
day,
We'll do
right?
lunch specials, and we'll do the a happy hour we talked about earlier, and then we'll do the the chef's features. But the lobster roll kind of earned its spot on the menu full time. Now Boca's always served it seasonally here. They've always done it. As a company, we haven't because it's hard to get. It's seasonal. It's a little up there on price. You got to. And I don't like to do market price. I hate doing that. You want to have a price that's fair. This time of year, we have to. It just this lobster meat can be $60, $70, $80 a pound.
Jeez.
My
right.
cost.
And the time of wow,
my God.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And
That's
but you
nuts.
wait until it comes down, and you get suppliers that are willing to make things a little bit more.
But last
Reasonable.
year never came down.
It never did.
Never came down last year. And
So how do you offer it as a loss leader? And you have
it's
to
a
take
loss leader. We did a promotion last year. It was a lobster roll for $29.
Oh, wow.
And
In the middle of when it
in
was
the-
insane.
in the season. And, my thought, of course, you have to plan for these way ahead of time,
Right.
and the price never came down.
Oh.
And then my investors are calling me saying, "What are you
So
sure
the,
about this?"
the lobster took a bath in the butter, and you
they
guys
took
took
a
a
bath
bath
on
on
the
the
lobster.
I
pricing.
took a
But
bath.
hopefully, people keep coming in and order other things, and that's the whole point.
It was an
of-
awareness campaign,
Yeah.
and it sold so well that it drove revenue big time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
that's
it's in Richmond, Virginia. We sell more lobster rolls in Richmond, Virginia,
Huh.
my hometown, than anywhere else in the
because they don't get
Really?
it naturally around
you're
the
not getting
corner,
lobster,
so it will sell
You
in a
don't get it.
location
Yeah.
where it's a more of an
You
unusual
get
thing.
crab.
We got the
I feel like
brioche,
just
yeah.
digging in. I'm gonna just kind of try to
You got to eat part of the
Careful
bread
here.
because the brioche.
I know the brioche
griddle
bun is good,
brioche,
but-
now
oh,
that
look,
is not
a
gluten
little
free.
a little bit of a knuckle just fell out.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
going,
you have to use tail knuckle
Mm.
claw. You have to use
Mhm.
fresh meat.
um,
And I'll my wife.
Wait, so this bun-
she's so angry with me when we go out to eat because I'll ask the questions like, "Is this fresh lobster meat?" Because I'm not going to spend $40
No,
if it's not. No
I
way.
hate when they chop it up and then they mix additives. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people use like frozen crawfish
other
or
meat.
shrimp,
Yeah.
and they call it a lobster roll, like an
Oh,
AH.
really? Like when they do a crab?
Yeah,
Okay.
and this
Really?
if
Oh my
it's
God.
lobster roll, and you could really taste the
Yeah,
difference.
it's so good.
Now this is a split top,
Yep.
gluten-free
That's
brioche.
that's not gluten.
That's not gluten-free. Okay,
No.
good.
Okay.
If I'll do that one. That would be. We don't do that one gluten free. We can serve it on a gluten free bun if you want, but
You can
the
serve it
brioche
on
you can't.
gluten-free lettuce
I
I was
too.
gonna
But,
say it could be.
but-
served on
but this
nothing.
bun makes it. That's really good.
Yeah.
You guys are knocking it out of the park here.
Yeah. But we charge $34 for this right now, and you'll spend $45-$50 on lobster rolls almost anywhere else.
Mm.
So it's good value.
And
Serve
to
with a
think,
slaw.
They were once,
These are hand cut French fries too. We cut our
French
French
fries are
fries.
ridiculous.
They're
We
good.
make these from scratch.
and the slaw looks good. But no,
Yeah.
you were mentioning market price. You hate
Mhm.
having that on a menu. And
Yeah.
our colleague Jeff Defoe DeForest, who's not with us today, but he was a long time sports broadcaster. But he always said the two scariest words in the English language, besides "I do," because he's been married a few times, is market price. Because when you see that, you want
It's
to know
the-
what you're paying.
You want to know
Yeah.
what you're paying for, and you feel like you're gonna get ripped off. It's
Yeah.
just
When they look at you weird when you actually ask the price, you're
Yeah.
supposed to just be okay with that. It's like, no, I want to know.
Well,
So I told my team, I was like, we have one rule though. This will be the only thing, and it's only market price during the times that it's volatile, and it's not like because you look at, anything else, the market catch of the day, the seafood. That we know what that is when we're buying the fish, and
Yeah,
we're
you
just
can
charging.
pass it along.
Yeah, we can pass it along. But I don't want to have 15 things on the menu market price. That's it. It's only lobster.
right.
That's it.
Last but not least,
Mhm.
we've got this was by special request by me. Because I find
no,
this
it's
to
like-
be a signature item. I don't know if it is or how it sells elsewhere.
It's
Well, I know that the people on the Let's Eat
Yeah.
group, when they first started going to the one that opened in Plantation, said, "Oh my God, that short rib
Well, that's
grilled
what
cheese is
before I would even
amazing."
You got
I
to
would
dunk.
just say
you got to
the
dunk.
term
Who doesn't look at this? Cheesy,
Burtons.
gooey.
Yeah,
and they would
any
say
kind
you
of-
have to like you would just say Burtons, we're going there. They're like short rib grilled cheese. It's like, okay, it's a grilled. No, you have to have the short rib grilled
Phenomenal.
cheese. And we had it. And we're like, okay, now I know why they say that.
Every time I take a bite of this, especially
so
when you
great.
dunk it,
It's our version of the French dip and eat steak sandwich. We slow braise this short rib.
it's sending
hours and
tingles of
hours.
pleasure down my spine into other areas of my body. And I mean, when I take a bite of something and it actually gives
I know,
me
your
that
face
waves
smiles.
of pleasure, that means you've
Yeah.
got a winner on
I
your
like that
hands.
John's moved away from you.
It is.
I also do appreciate that John is
Mhm.
diving right in and eating. With
No,
us.
he is.
It makes it.
He's a
lot more-
lunchbox natural.
Oh
Like
my
some
God.
people are very dainty; they don't want to eat on the
He's
air. But
grabbing, so I love
not
it.
only that, I mean, he could take my job because he's managed to both eat and talk and keep the
You
microphone.
put this kind of food in front of me, and I'm the CEO. I still crave it. I eat here all the time. My family eats here. My favorite
Great.
restaurant.
I mean,
That's great.
that's a testimonial to just how well this place executes. Burton's Grill and Bar, Boca Raton. Let's take our second break, Lubie, and I'm going to chow down on more of this great round two. And then when we come back, we'll talk some more, and maybe we'll see some of the dessert selections later on after these words.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Trans World to help sell. Contact Trans World on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30, except Sunday. Go to When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. Burtons Grill and Bar, Boca Raton. Don't forget, there's one in Plantation. We're here with CEO President John Haggai. And it is time that, we've had our great lobster roll, the great short rib grilled cheese. And I believe it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Only 3:43 here Eastern time. But we've got cocktails in front of us. Yeah. And maybe, John, you want to talk about a little bit about the cocktail program here?
Yeah.
Oh, now and desserts too. There goes my blood sugar. We've got the.
Don't get any of this. This is mine.
That is the key lime pie.
Just to make you look at it.
Key lime pie in the round, and it's like enough to serve 2 people comfortably.
No, you could definitely share.
But cocktails. There's a big bar here. You see all the customers around the bar right here. Burtons is a gathering spot. One of the things is you want the bartenders, you want the staff to know how to make a proper cocktail. And the simpler the better, in my view. Doesn't get more simple than an old fashioned.
But so many people don't get the balance right, and this one is perfect.
Right.
I just took a sip.
We make our own simple syrup.
Oh, wow.
So we use a brown butter simple syrup. So it's a little, but you can't.
That makes a difference.
It's a little bit different. You have to stir it right. You have to use the right ice. You have to make sure it's the right temperature. There's a lot of things go into
The
something
bitters, you
simple.
have to have the right balance
Ice
of the
is
bitters.
important to me. You have to have the right ice cube too.
The cube,
You know,
It's a nice
then,
round ice cube, cube in the round. And do you have happy hour? Are some of these cocktails priced?
Yeah, we have
for
we have
happy
discounted
hour?
drinks for happy hour. You do martinis. You do $10 martinis. This one here is like blueberry hibiscus squeeze.
Okay.
This is like one of our most popular martini. It's blueberry infused Tito's, with lemonade.
Oh God.
It's a really nice vodka
I
lemonade.
can see you.
You know
enjoying
what?
yourself
I
on
took
that
a sip.
drink.
It's very good. It's smooth sipping for summertime, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit on the fruity or maybe
Yeah.
sweeter
Sweet,
side.
yeah.
But it's, you know what? Lubie's going to be a dad for the first time. He just had a gender reveal party. You know what you should have done instead of those balloons and the confetti? You should have had either a pink drink or a blue drink.
We did as a welcome.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And it was all blue. I wasn't there.
There was
I couldn't-
blue and pink when you walked in, and then the balloon.
I was on the disabled list that week, unfortunately, so I had to miss the reveal party. But I do like to bring up the fact that happy Father's Day to the expectant dad.
There you go.
Father's Day here. Anything in
yeah.
particular you're going to have specials or?
It's a busy. It used to, Mother's Day has always been the big day, but
Yes.
Father's Day in our brand is also really busy. We're doing ribs at Burtons for Father's Day.
Okay,
Nice.
nice.
And so the last drink here is this desert flower. So
Oh,
we have
sorry,
classics. We have our creations. This is mezcal and tequila,
Mezcal.
elderflower, little prickly pear. So come in. We also have non-alcoholic. We also pour an espresso, nitro espresso martini.
I
on
got to have a
tap.
sip of this. I'm sorry,
On tap.
It's
Lubie.
on tap.
It's on tap.
you
Tap
know.
espresso
Ridiculous.
martinis. It
This is the
sounds
time
like
of the day to do an
as soon
espresso
as that-
martini, though. You do it early in the day. I see people drinking it
lose
late
it.
at night.
No, you
Crazy.
want it now. You want to get the burst.
You
And
get the
then
burst
ease
now.
off of it.
Don't do it right at 10 o'clock
Ooh,
at night.
it's good, Lubie. I
Yeah.
think his wife Shirley loves these.
She loves
As soon as that baby pops out,
I
I think
know.
she's going to be up here under the
She's
tap,
already
and
said
just
she wants
guzzling the
that.
espresso martini. That's unbelievably good. You can try that. Those are the cocktails, and this is something I've been so enamored with your key lime pie. And this is one recipe that you have developed a gluten-free one in certain locations.
We're starting to roll out the gluten-free version up in New England. We're still testing that. This is kind of the coveted dessert that our pride and joy.
Yeah.
You got to use the good Deli and Joe's key lime juice. You got to double bake it. You got to have that custard. It's got to the graham crackers got to be perfect. Sometimes they're too dense, and you have the good flavor, but they don't have the good mouthfeel. So this has
It has
everything.
it all.
Yeah.
And I've eaten key lime pies
I need a fork.
every
You need a fork
place
from mine.
up and
I know
down
you do.
the from Key West all the way up to Jupiter.
Mhm.
And yours ranks among the finest, not only because of I love the creative just circle in the round where you got the graham crust encapsulating the whole thing like a big warm hug. You've also got the fresh whipped cream on top, which is essential. And thank you for using whipped cream.
Yep.
Because I am on team whipped cream. There's team meringue out
meringue
there.
for key lime
The
pie.
meringue is it's just too sweet, and the
Key lime
cream balances it out.
Yeah.
Where and why does a Massachusetts-based chain
I was gonna
start
ask.
with a key lime pie? Did it
I was just gonna
before you even came to Florida? You had these key lime pies.
We've had
right?
them, yeah. And once our founder was a nut with key lime pie too. Like he loved key lime pie, and it was one of the. Even though this is the non gluten free version, but he was like, it's too good to keep on the menu. We don't, it's delicious. It stays, and it's consistent, And you got to do it right. You bake it in house, fresh, and God, it's good.
How does
It's been a minute since I've had that. It's been a couple months since I had a bite of that.
I apologize.
I love how you dove in.
I'm going
what's it-
Viking
because
style.
it's known as a Florida or South Florida,
South Florida thing. Yeah.
dish
Yeah.
or dessert. How does it do throughout the East?
Sells
Are
great.
people surprised by it?
It smells great. People love it. It's zingy and refreshing.
Yeah.
It's not too sweet.
And how is it doing down here? Because everybody's used to key lime
After
pie.
your endorsement, it does great.
That's so
You
funny.
kidding me?
Oh no, he
He
wasn't
fell in love
lying.
with Christina. It was like, this is great. Vasil's
I was
gonna go
very
out. Mike
heartened
likes
to
it.
hear that because I
Yeah.
I posted a
it
couple
meant a lot
of
to
things.
us, by the way, because we take a lot of pride in it. Our chefs take a ton of pride. Now this is gluten free. This is 7 layer.
Oh wow,
Okay.
really? Oh my god.
You know what? We got to take our
1,
final
2,
break.
3,
I'm going
4,
to dive
5,
in
6, 7. Yeah,
7-layer gluten-free chocolate cake.
Yep.
Let's take the third and final break, and then we'll come back. We still got to talk about catering
Yeah, I wanted to.
and some of the newfangled realities of the business,
Yep.
third-party delivery apps, and the fact that you guys do, because this is the new world. People want convenience, so
Gotta give 'em what they want.
you are able to place an order on your favorite delivery apps, I guess Uber Eats
Yeah,
and
DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Sure.
But we'll talk about it's a little scary for a chain that prides itself, not even a chain, for any restaurant
company, yeah.
that prides themselves on quality and consistency to put your product in
Food
the
in
hand of
someone
another
else's hands.
person. But we'll talk about that and more after these words on the Lunchbox. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good Hey, we're back. We're with John Haggai, the CEO and president of the growing brand Burtons. We're not going to use the C word anymore, except when it comes to consistency.
Yep.
And this is outstanding because I've been so enamored with the key lime pie. All my visits.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
took
I
a big
get.
chunk out of this cake right
Yeah,
there.
no,
It's
people
starting to fall
look,
over.
John, I don't know how familiar. One of my signature moves on the show is doing what's known as a big bite.
Yeah. And you
And
hide
this-
it from everyone else?
And
Is
this,
that what you
no,
do?
well,
You-
because it was during a break,
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
want to show that I already take a bite.
Oh, yeah, well.
And it's a great
Oh, I screwed that up. didn't I?
flourless, gluten-free, I can't even talk.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free chocolate cake that has the raspberry coulis at the
Mhm.
bottom. It's got some. You said the
It's the
Maldon
Maldon
salt
flake salt. So it's the
Very
big,
cl-
flaky, salt.
and
It's
some like
delicious.
hot fudge
Yep, hot
type
fudge.
substances, that cream in the
Yeah.
middle,
Yeah.
and
Bake that in-house fresh.
I'm known for doing a big bite. I'm going to spare you the
Please.
indignity of actually
Do I need
picking
to
it up
scoot
and
over?
shoving the whole thing. No, I'm not going to do it. But what I'm going to try to do, and the salt on top really makes it
Yeah,
like
it does.
the
Isn't it? It's a
fancy.
little
Salty
touch.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
It gives it. I love having
Little
that
bit.
little salt flavor. I'm going down
Oh,
the
Jesus.
side here, and this is going to be. Well, no,
Oh,
I don't think
God.
it's possible. If I could just like
That's
shove the whole.
ridiculous.
No, I
Don't
can't.
do it, please.
Don't do it. No, it's going to ruin a shirt. No,
I don't care
can't
about your
do it.
shirt.
All right, I care
Yeah,
about.
do half.
I'll
Halvesky.
do it.
Oh my God,
There you
man.
go. Here we go.
So while he's grossing everyone out,
Yeah.
we have talked about how you guys just started doing catering.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here, I did want to touch on that because I think that's really cool. What brought that about, and what can people
we
if
have
they want to get involved with
COVID
your
brought about the off-premise business. That's here to stay. People like food, at the convenience of their home, and our off-premise business is really big.
Nice.
It's a big part of our, and you get addicted to the DoorDash and the Uber Eats, and you kind of got to do get in the game with everybody else. But that was kind of the genesis, and then it kind of morphed into a catering, a full-blown catering division. But each restaurant has the ability to do catering. Family celebrations, some office and corporate, but it's like people got a birthday party at their house.
Yep.
They're doing a large. They want a big plate of wings or a big plate of cheesesteaks,
Oh, nice.
spring rolls. They want to do wraps, customizable menus, and go on our menu, and you go on Olo, go online and order what you want.
So the
and
catering
deliver.
menu is right there. If you go
Yeah.
to
Go through the
burtonsgrill.com.
Large party catering. It's a thing, and we're excited about it.
This time of year again,
Yeah.
graduation,
4th of
retirement,
July.
Yeah.
4th of July gatherings.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Stanley Cup parties,
Stanley
maybe
Cup,
this weekend.
Father's Day again. If you want to do stuff at the house, you guys
Yep.
are doing ribs and stuff,
Yeah.
so that'd be interesting.
Catering sounds like a good idea, and the third-party apps. I mean, have you had a good experience so far? I mean, it in terms of
you
it's
gotta-
like cross your fingers when
gotta-
you send it out the
Well,
door.
you're right, because we're obsessed on quality. We're obsessed on the customer experience,
Yeah.
and then you bag something up, you tape it up, you staple it, you hand it to a delivery driver, and then it goes in their car and goes off. So yeah, you're putting your reputation at risk. Now DoorDash does a good job.
Right.
They're a good company.
They weed out the bad
Yeah,
drivers.
and you pay for it, they charge you for it. So and the customer, pays for that kind of convenience. So we would, you can go on our website and order delivery and
Oh,
and
cool. So it can't
bypass
go through you guys.
yeah.
Okay.
and bypass some of
Yeah,
that stuff,
so you get a little bit more of a break, and
Yeah.
better off. I always tell people, number one, if you want a good restaurant experience, go to the restaurant,
Yeah.
sit down, and have a meal, because
Yeah.
then it's coming. You can see this open kitchen
can see the
behind us,
whole
the whole
thing, yeah.
show.
Yeah.
They're knocking it out. Everything's fresh. They're running it right to the table. That's the best way. Number two is if you're going to do a takeout,
You go yourself.
go in yourself, and that way you save on all the third
have a
party
drink at the
fees.
bar, wait for it. That's always a great thing
Exactly.
to do.
Make a new friend,
You can get
and
the vibe of the place. So the
sociable.
next time you want to come out.
see the news that Tom Thibodeau got fired. No surprise there. You got all the TVs,
Yeah.
to watch sports at the
Yeah,
bar,
the
but there's
bar's
also areas
Yeah.
of where you don't
Beautiful
see
place.
the TV.
The bar is the energy of the whole restaurant.
It's huge.
We make you walk through that area. We call it the
Yeah.
energy zone. We force
Yep,
you through the
yep.
bar
Yep.
to come in, and you see how many people are already starting to show up for happy hour right now.
This build out
Yeah.
is beautiful. The
Yeah.
plantation one came
Yeah.
out right.
Yeah, a little different.
Let's talk about plans for the future, specifically in Florida, South Florida.
Yeah, gosh,
you
we
looking?
we love Florida. I want to get one in Sarasota. We're
Oh,
looking.
yeah.
We're looking down in the Miami area. I'd love to be up in West Palm or Palm Beach
Yeah.
How
Gardens.
about Orlando,
you know?
the tourist capital of the world? It's just
You're worried
too.
about it
I'm
so
a
Okay.
little
much.
scared of Orlando.
Okay. I'm scared of Orlando too. It's a Mickey Mouse town.
Well, I feel
Yeah.
like northern Florida may.
Jacksonville.
I think it would
Sure.
kill in
Suburbs of
Tampa
Jacksonville,
area. I
Tampa.
think it
Yeah.
would do well, even in
Jacksonville.
Tallahassee,
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yes.
We're gonna go, but we're opening in Parsippany, New Jersey. We're right outside of Manhattan. And
Nice.
Wow.
later
That's
this
right
next
on the
year.
other side of the
It's
tunnel.
close. It's
Yeah.
close. So
All
that's
good.
we're
Well,
gonna be in Jersey. We're
No,
gonna
and-
be in Philly. So
the other thing I like about the brand, it seems like the growth has been steady yet deliberate.
Not
where
wrong.
in 20 years
Yeah.
you have 23
Yeah.
locations.
slow and
You-
steady growth. We're
Yeah.
not out to conquer the world. We want to do things right. We got to
Mm.
pick good real estate. It's really about people. You have to have phenomenal people
Hmm.
that are incentivized, that love what they do, and we care about them. You have to.
Well, John, it has been a real pleasure to sit down
Fantastic.
and get to
Yeah.
know you and get to eat all your food and try new items. I cannot wait until Chef puts the paella back
Yeah,
that
on
sounds
the
amazing.
specials menu here. Maybe we'll get, through the corporate ranks and get maybe in some
it'll-
other
maybe it'll make the cut.
locations.
It might make the cut.
It might
It
make
might
the
make the
cut.
cut,
It
yeah.
again, the consensus on Let's Eat was that it was a fantastic dish. So I've learned to trust most of the people on that.
Well, thanks for hanging today.
Thank
John,
you.
thank
I
you
hope
so
we
much for
get to
having
do
us.
it again at some
anytime.
point.
I love coming down here.
Oh, good.
Anytime. I
Yeah,
love it down
especially in the wintertime. So
Especially when it's raining.
June,
Yes,
I don't know
fantastic.
so much, but we'll get you back down
Yeah.
here in the fall.
Let's do it.
Boat show.
Let's do it.
And it's been a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Again, come check it out here at Boca Raton, 5580 North Military in Boca and University in Plantation. Until tomorrow, guys, enjoy every lobster roll, enjoy every key lime pie, and enjoy every sandwich.